Good evening, Gills fans. Welcome back to another episode of Gills in the Blood TV. It is Monday review time as I look back on Saturday's impressive 3-0 victory over Fleetwood Town. A performance that for me was better than the previous Saturday's 4-0 win over basement club Bradford City. Another standout performance from Darren Oldacre, another standout performance from Thomas Eaves. Great to see Brandon Hanlon get another goal. And generally, to a man, we were superb from start to finish. I thought Fleetwood had maybe a 10-15 minute spell at the start of each half, but aside from that, I thought we was always in control and we created plenty. We scored 3 really good goals. But yeah, at risk of repeating myself, it seems that we keep talking about the same two. Firstly, is this man coming up on your screen? DJ, Darren Oldacre, as he's better known, superb again for 90 minutes on Saturday. An absolutely exceptional pass for the second goal. 60-yard diagonal flat over the back of the centre-half's head onto Tom Eaves' chest, who balled it under control superbly before slotting home to put us in control with only 20 minutes on the clock. We said after last Saturday's win against Bradford, the key now was not just being a one-off and he had to go and do it on a consistent basis. And he backed that performance up against the Bantams with another superb show against Fleetwood. Couple of quotes from the back page of the Medway Messenger. This is Darren Oldacre, Steve Lovell talking about him. I thought after pre-season that DJ would have been one that was breaking in admitted Lovell, but because he never showed me the other side to his game, I couldn't trust him, and I told him that. As we've repeated before, we all know about his ability, his passing range, 2 good feet, technically really good, but it was just a case of getting his head right and doing the dirty side of the game, and he seems to be doing that now, and something's clicked. Steve Lovell goes on to say, I said before the game that this is a test for him now. He's had a great game, but can he back it up with another? Can he back it up with another after that and then another one? I think he can do. This game was so important for him, more important than last week. He played really well against Bradford, but I think he was even better against Fleetwood. It was a different performance, a mature performance, and you'd think he'd been in the team all season. That was one of the words that myself and Boz and Stocky used on Saturday, mature. A display that belied his 19 years. He looked like a seasoned pro in the middle of the park. Positionally, he was really good. Aside from the assist, he nearly set up Thomas Eaves for another chance with a block tackle that put Eavesy away, and the keeper and the defender got across and managed to smuggle it out for a corner. He just seems to have so much time on the ball, and again, I don't want to get ahead of ourselves and you know, say he's going to be shooting us up the league into the playoffs, championship glory and all that, but the early signs are promising after 2 very good 90 minutes. And Steve Lovell says he makes space because he opens himself out. He always receives the ball on the half turn. There was a couple of times Saturday where you're thinking, oh, he hasn't got a lot of room, and just one really good touch or drop of the shoulder and he was away from his marker, and then he was laying it off or getting us on the front foot and getting us in behind, and can't talk highly enough of him at the moment. He has to start tomorrow night against Blackpool for me. It'd be a travesty if he doesn't. But yeah, let's hope we keep talking about him. Let's hope I keep repeating myself, and every episode we come on here and we talk about how good Darren Oldacre's playing, because it's great to see and it's refreshing to see, and it's brilliant that Steve Lovell's trusting him and he's repaying that faith. Another star man from the weekend who grabbed the headlines was this man. Another 2 goals for Mr. Eaves. It takes him to 11 in 16 in League One this season, and that's only from 13 starts. So going along at a really good rate, well on track to beat last season's haul of 18 in all competitions. He's now averaging exactly half a goal a game, or a goal every other game in all competitions since arriving on a free transfer last summer. 29 in 58 appearances. It's not to be sniffed at, and the big thing for me, contract talks are underway according to Steve Lovell. Gillingham have opened contract talks with leading scorer Tom Eaves. The 26-year-old took his tally for the season to 11 with another double against Fleetwood on Saturday. And this is Steve Lovell talking about him. There's no way that any club will want to get rid of their top scorer. We want him here to stay as long as possible, and as long as he wants to. That's something that we've got to sort out. We've had initial talks with him and he wants to stay here. We're discussing it now. Of course we are. It goes without saying. biggest thing for me there is it says Thomas Eaves wants to stay at the football club, because obviously he gets to January and he's out of contract in the summer. Other teams can come in and talk to him and he's free to sign pre-contract agreements, and none of us want that. He's approaching his peak years. His goal scoring record at us is phenomenal. What's he got now? 7 in his last 8, 2 doubles over the last 2 weekends. Invariably could have had a hat-trick in both. Probably in one of the best runs of form in his career, and it's great to see. And one of my favourite phrases is "long may it continue." But yeah, all in all, without just obviously sounding out to a man, we were brilliant. The back four were absolutely superb. I think the fact that Thomas Holy didn't have to make what you'd call difficult saves says a lot about how well those in front of him played, but everything he had to do, he did superbly. Gabriel Zakwani and Max Amar, I can't remember them missing a header. Max Amar made a brilliant tackle first half and got penalised for it. I couldn't believe it. I said at the time, I said, if we're going to be pulled up for tackles like that now, then the game's gone soft. It was an absolutely superb sliding tackle. Got the ball, cleaned everything out. Wasn't from behind, but for some reason the referee decided to penalise him. Luckily, we didn't concede or anything like that, because that would have been a travesty in all honesty. I thought there was another tackle second half from Luke O'Neill, similar, a proper cruncher, and he didn't get penalised. So, like we talk about with officials at this level a lot of the time, you need consistency, and it's always frustrating, but when you're winning football matches, you tend to let it go a little bit. On the other side, Barry Fuller was superb again. We have now named him the Medway Marcelo. That is his official title on Twitter. Just seems to be getting better and better, which is incredible considering he's 34 years of age now. And when he arrived, we thought he was just coming in to be back up to Luke O'Neill. He's effectively first choice left back now on the wrong side. And again, as long as his form continues, brilliant to see. Gives us more options in terms of flexibility if we do have people out injured or suspended. In the midfield, I thought it was Mark Burns' best performance for a long while. Billy Bingham was decent until sadly he come off with another ankle problem. It looks like a recurrence of the one that had kept him out for a while. Regan Charles-Cook took a while to get going again, but second half he was pivotal and he played a massive part in the third, which killed it off at a crucial time, because I think Fleetwood were just on top. And the front two were absolutely sensational, the pair of them. It's a great blend of what we have between the two of them. Tom Eaves can be the batter in round tight, but he will run in behind as well. Brilliant hold-up play for the third to release Regan Charles-Cook and then get himself into the box, and on the end of Connor Ogilvy's cross and Brandon Hanlon, all pace, all power. We saw that with the goal that he scored, and then he showed brilliant composure to go round the keeper and slot it in. There could have been a case where he might have tried to lash it or beat him first time, but he didn't. He kept his head. 3 goals now for him this season in the league, 11 for Tom Eaves. They've got 14 between them as a pair, and if they carry on at that rate, we're going to be all right. Especially if we can continue to improve and keep these clean sheets that we've done in the last 2 matches. In terms of match ratings, we'll just compare ours and Luke. Thomas Holy, Luke gave 6, we did 6.5. Luke O'Neill, we both had 7. Max Amar, they gave 8, we had 7.5. They gave Zach an 8, we gave 7. Barry Fuller 7, we gave 7.5. Darren Oldacre 9, we said 8. Mark Burns 7, we said 7.5. Regan Charles-Cook 8, we said 7. We were both the same, 7 for Billy Bingham before his injury. Thomas Eaves, they gave 9, we gave 8.5. Brandon Hanlon 8, we said 7.5. So we're not too far off. And in terms of substitutes, Luke gave Connor Ogilvy a 7, we gave him 7.5. Thought he was absolutely superb when he came on. He was solid defensively at left wing back. He got on the overlap when he could, and his delivery was brilliant. Aside from the goal, I think there was 2 or 3 other crosses that he got into dangerous areas and we couldn't quite get on the end of them. Probably one of his best performances in a Gillingham shirt. Elliot Lister 7, the same as us, and Dean Parrott we gave 6.5, and Luke decided against giving him a rating because he only come on late. But all in all, superb performance. We created plenty. We were solid defensively. I know they've hit the post twice. They hit the post at 2-0 from a header. We went up the other end and killed it off. Paddy Madden, outrageous effort near the end, but already the game was gone. So, and he nearly caught Thomas Holy out and hit the crossbar from distance. But maybe there's just a sign that things are turning and luck's starting to go our way, and the fine lines are falling on our side now, which is brilliant, and hopefully that continues because we do deserve a bit of luck. Defensively, we've been really sound, and Gabriel Zakwani talks about it and says, obviously, Tom Eaves and the strikers are judged on scoring goals. We're judged on goals against. We'd conceded too many, but we've started to show signs that we're putting that right. And again, we go back to Steve Lovell, and he said, if I get the right personnel available into this system, then it will work. it's worked for the last 2 weeks with the right personnel. So let's hope that that carries on tomorrow, Tuesday night, because we do have a game and we host this lot who are coming into town. That is, of course, Blackpool, who currently sit 13th in Sky Bet League One. They have 22 points from their 15 games, so a little way above us. But if we do manage to get 3 points, we'd be within a point of them. So, and we'd be looking at around sort of mid-table, lower mid-table, which would be really good. It would mean we can start looking upwards rather than over our shoulder. I think we'd be 6 clear of the relegation zone if we can pick up maximum points tomorrow evening under the floodlights. In terms of form, last 6. It's starting to look a little bit rosier now for us. We have 3 wins, 2 losses and 1 draw from the last 6. That's 10 points from the last 18 in League One. Blackpool have 8 from 18. That is 2 wins, 2 draws, 2 defeats. And in terms of home and away, Blackpool on the road have picked up just 1 win and 4 draws from their last 6. So it's only 1 defeat, 7 points from 18. And we have 7 points as well, 2 wins, a draw and 3 defeats, but obviously them 2 wins have come in the last 2, so we are starting to improve. They've had 3 blanks on the road this season from 6 games, and they conceded 6 in a week. To flip that, back-to-back clean sheets for us at Priestfield, and we've scored 7 in a week, so it all points towards us perhaps turning the corner the right way, and then maybe not so much, but it will be a tough game. They don't have any standout names. They've done brilliant, in fairness. They lost Gary Bowyer, their manager, who resigned after 1 game. We all know, it's well documented, all the problems that they have and the fans at that club due to one family, and I'm not going to give any airtime to them. But yeah, they just sort of dropped off slightly in the last few weeks. But it'll still be a really good game, a really tough test. They came to Priestfield and beat us 3-0 at the back end of last season comfortably. I know Kyle Vassell was really good that day, but he's moved on, so we won't have to deal with that threat, thankfully. And in terms of team news, no Callum Riley, no Billy Bingham, I'd assume, and I'm not sure about Alex Lacey, who twisted his knee in the warm-up on Saturday, so he might miss out. But I think Bradley Garmston and Josh Reese might be back and available for selection. I know Steve Lovell did say they was going to train today. My team would be not too different from Saturday. I would just bring in Dean Parrott for Billy Bingham, and I'd keep it with a diamond. So that'd be Thomas Holy, Luke O'Neill, Gabriel Zaquani, Max Amart, Barry Fuller, Darren Oldacre, Mark Byrne, Parrott, Regan Charles Cook, Tom Eves and Brandon Hanlon. I'll change it up on the bench. I'd go for Thomas Hadler, Connor Ogilvie, Bradley Garmston, Josh Reese, Navin Nasseri, Elliot List and Josh Parker. But yeah, in terms of the 11, if it's not broken, don't fix it. We only have to make changes if we need to at the moment, because these boys that have put in a tremendous shift over the last 2 games and deservedly picked up plaudits and picked up points, more importantly. It is that time. Prediction, just write it down. I am going to go for, drum roll, Gillingham 2, Blackpool 0. I'm going to go goal scorers Brandon Hanlon to follow up his goal Saturday with another home goal, and I'm going to say Regan Charles Cook. I'm going to give Tom Eves the night off in terms of goal scoring. He's been greedy the last few weeks. All jokes aside, I mean, he can get as many as he likes, so I don't mind. But yeah, I'm going to go for a 2-0 win. That is enough from me this evening. We will see you tomorrow night at the ground for Match Day Live. As always, please keep doing all the usual YouTube, social media, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Come and see us in the ground. Come and say hello. Get yourself on the Match Day Live if you wish. And until next time, up the Jills.